Hey, got a super special lesson coming up for you today where I'm going to show you one of the greatest pop slap bass lines ever played by the incredible Marcus Miller. I'll explain all when we get inside the lesson. Hey, it's James here from eBass Guitar, and this is a super special lesson because this is YouTube lesson number 222, and some clever soul recognized it's also the 2nd of February 2022 today. So I thought I'd get a bass line or a lesson out based on a bass line which is all about the word or number 2. So when I put it out to my community of Bass Lab Plus members and say, what song would you want me to cover? They said, well, could you do a lesson on T for 2, 9 to 5, or 2 Princes? And the list went on and on, but I thought, why don't we do a lesson on one of the greatest slap bass lines ever written, Never Too Much, from the Luther Van Dross 1981 record. And this has the incredible Marcus Miller on bass. But before we hit the lesson content, I'd love to know, can you think of any more bass lines or songs which have the word 2 in? So let me know in the description or the comments below. One more thing before we get going, I want you to know it's a completely free PDF which comes with this lesson, so you can see this fantastic bass line written out in standard notation and tab. So let's get straight into it. The meat of this bass line is an 8-bar repeated loop which works over the verse section, which is the seminal sound which makes this groove. And there is a 1-bar introduction on the front of it. Now what makes this bass line, in my view, is the interplay between the quarter notes and the 8th notes, which are either on the beat or halfway through the beat, which sound quite square and quite rigid, to the offbeat 16th notes, which make it really, really funky. So let me show you this first bar in the introduction. So it starts off with that legendary slide that you hear at the beginning of the track. So 1, 2, 3, like that. And then we go into 4 quarter notes, which are just dead straight on the beat. So it's simply an A, a G sharp, an A, a B, A sharp, like that. And then we push on the last 16th note, and this is the crucial thing, into this B, like that. So we end up with this before the beat, like so that. So it is that interplay between off the beat and on the beat, which makes it so funky. But let's continue into the first 4 bars of this bass line, because this is where the meat really sits. So it sounds like this: 3, 4. So let's just take that apart. It's so good. So it's a push into that B, then halfway through the 2nd note we play an A, and then bang on beat 3 we play the B again. 3, 4. Then we kind of have this offbeat kind of funky bass line like this, which sounds like this. So that is 2 offbeat 16th notes on the B, then back to this A, B, C sharp, D, like that. And that D lands bang on the 3rd beat of the 2nd bar. So that all works over the first chord, which is an A chord with a B in the bass. So our bass note is centered around that B. So then we go into the 2nd, 3rd and 4th bar, which is over a G major. And so what we do is we push into the G major. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So we play a G push note, and then we literally just sort of snap onto the 3rd beat of the bar with like a little 16th note push. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, landing bang on the middle of the 3rd beat. Now, most of this bass line is all thumbed, and you get that legendary Marcus Miller thumb sound. Now, there are 2 pops in here which really sing out. So let's put this in now. So this is going to be 2 G octaves, simply like that. And these are offbeat 16ths on the last 16th note of each beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So really funky, really offbeat. Then we go back into this squarer thing, which is more on the beat. So halfway through the 2nd beat, we play a G, an open E, and then on beat 4 an A. So 1, 2, 3, I can do that again. 1, 2, like that. And then we push into the B. 1, 2, like that. Really cool. So this is the first 4 bars. Let me play it with the track so you can hear this in context. So as I said earlier, this is an 8-bar loop that Marcus Biller is playing as the chord to this bass line. So let's look at bars of 5 to 8 now. Now this is incredibly similar to bars 1 to 4, so make sure you get those down to begin with. But they're just a couple of really subtle kind of differences to them. So let's look at bar 5 now. So what we're going to do is we're going to push into it from the previous bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, go. So what he does is he puts these extra little slap octaves in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, come. And that's really simple. That is literally just a slap pull on beat 2 and then down onto 2 thumbs, landing yourself on beat 3 like that. Now, going on, we have rhythmically an identical bass line to what we had before when we played this pattern. So what Marcus does here is he just changes the notes a little bit. So we end up with this phrase. Really nice little chromatic phrase to get you from the B to the E. So take that part, it's 2 Bs, a C sharp, a D, a D sharp, and an E. And again, 3, 4 to go. Then we literally just go back into the rest of the bass line, which is the G. 2 pushes, like so. So that is the whole of the bass line. It's an incredible line to get down. Really concentrate on your note placement, so you're placing these right. Really feel what the drum pattern is doing as well. Just get yourself really locking in. The challenge of this is always in the space and the rest that you don't rush. So what I'm going to do now to finish this lesson is I'm going to have a jam with the track. I'm going to play the whole of the bass line, you can hear it. Then I'm going to go off and so you can hear some of the lines that I would naturally sort of play over this groove. So guys, that's the end of today's video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure you download that free PDF so you can see everything we've discussed today written out in standard notation and tab. Also, if you've enjoyed this video again, make sure you hit that red subscribe button because we release a video like this every single week showcasing some of the greatest bass lines ever written and helping beginner to intermediate bass players. Cheers, I've been James from ebassguitar.com and I'll catch you very soon.